Hi, you're not hearing me? Welcome to today's Zoom. Is this nominal? Is it working? Hello? Weird.
Didn't hear that. I heard me talking.
You heard you talking?
Come seeker, come traveler, come all humankind, online or in person, whomever you love.
Come and be welcome at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne. Here, we are building a community of refuge where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged, a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress, a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
Good morning. I'm Lauren Danley, part of the COSM, and I'm filling in for Jessica today. I'd like to welcome you to this church. We're on a shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. If you're new to us, there's blue cards in the backs of the pew in front of you, and you can fill that out, please, if we can share information with you. Note cards are also available there to tell us about your joys and concerns and those kinds of things. And we have those are included in our pastoral prayer. We pass an additional basket. It's that rectangular one. And you can write your name or be anonymous or even ask, do not share if you have something you'd like held in care by our worship leader. We have many activities each week, and this week, potluck dinner. Yay, looking forward to that. Also, we have the sign-up sheets from last week's community fair are in the social hall on the table along that west wall there, and you can still sign up for things from last week. And somehow I misplaced, my bad, the one for the ethical justice team. I cannot find it. If you want to be part of that ethical justice team and you want to share your information, please fill it out again. I promise not to lose it again. I promise. So, and I think Carol Jean's going to come up now and talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. We gather in person and on Zoom each week, giving from our resources to sustain the work of this church and share our abundance with community organizations, broadening the reach of our values. You can find the text to give number in your order of service, or use your Realm app for electronic giving, or your Share the Plate offerings and pledges may also be dropped in the basket in a few moments as they pass. Our Share the Plate partner for the month of May is Bethel Outreach Ministries. And let's welcome Roy Howell from Bethel Outreach Ministries to have him tell us a little bit about their work. Thank you, Roy.
Thank you, Carol Jean. Thanks again for inviting us once more this year to share our mission and vision of Bethel Outreach Ministries. Carol asked me to hold this to at least less than around 30 minutes. I'll do my best to keep it brief. So Bethel Outreach Ministries is a faith-based, non-denominational nonprofit headquartered here in Cheyenne. The ministry was founded in 1987 and incorporated in 1997 by Reverend Clinton Lewis, who's now deceased. Since its inception, we have focused on serving particularly Laramie County, by providing reentry support for recently released inmates from various penal institutions. The organization is funded through private donations, local churches, and United Way. It is committed to serving men and women from diverse social and religious backgrounds. Our mission is to extend a helping hand to individuals released from local jails and state prisons, affording them an opportunity to become productive citizens within the community. The organization is dedicated to affirming the worth of every individual and family that it serves, offering hope, practical assistance during the challenging transition from incarceration to community life. Programs and services that we offer: housing assistance, financial support for rent and/or damage deposits, help with job applications, obtaining identification documents, assistance with purchasing cell phones, work clothes, tools, transportation, etc. Our values are driven by the following items. 1, affirmation of human worth, of the dignity and potential of every person regardless of their past. The ministry, hope and restoration. The ministry believes in bringing hope and facilitating the restoration of lives affected by incarceration. Inclusivity, while rooted in Christian faith, we are committed to serving individuals from all backgrounds without discrimination. Practical compassion focuses on meeting with both the spiritual, practical needs of our clients to enable a successful reintegration into society. Volunteerism and community engagement. The organization relies solely on volunteers to support our mission. We have 10 board members, and they're all active volunteers. We're kind of an active board. We're all volunteer on everything we do. So all of the resources that we receive, 99% of them anyway, go back into the community, back to the clients that we're trying to help. So there's very little overhead in this organization. We have a motto. It says, "God does not make junk. Shine in the love of God's grace every day." In summary, Bethel Outreach Ministries has a long-standing history of service in Cheyenne, dedicated to supporting formerly incarcerated individuals as they rebuild their lives. Guided by faith, compassion, and commitment to inclusivity, Bethel Outreach provides essential services, mentorship to help clients become productive, hopeful members of the community. So a couple of dates I'd like to mention to you. One is you've probably heard of it, it's called WYO Gives. That's July 15th. That's a statewide effort for all nonprofits that are a participant, which we are. So if you happen to see that come up on July 15th, you might consider participating, remembering Bethel Outreach as your participant. And also we have an annual fundraiser in October. It's the last Friday in October. It's a Mexican fiesta, auction and dinner. And so if you would think about attending that when you see the banners come up on the streets, and donating auction items and showing up, that would be awesome. I see Janet Black. She's been a faithful participant for years, and so I appreciate seeing her here. So thank you for the opportunity, and that's about all I have. I hope that's not too long for you.
We greatly respect and are delighted for this offering. Please find the words to our call to worship on the back of your order of service insert. It is titled, "May the Force Be With You" by Tori Jameson. May the Force be with you. Lift up your lightsabers. We cast away the spirit of Jar Jar, bringer of mindless chatter and unnecessary anecdotes. We call forth the spirit of Obi-Wan Kenobi, patient teacher and speaker of riddles. We call forth the spirit of Yoda, ancient teacher of wisdom. We call forth the spirit of General Leia Organa, strong and fierce leader of nations and mother. We call forth the spirit of Rey Skywalker, determined friend and seeker and defier of odds. We call forth the spirit of R2-D2, humble in service and great of heart for all time. The Force is truly with us. In a sign of community and mutuality, let us share a sign of the Force with one another. Now, for our opening hymn, I invite you to open your gray hymnals and rise in body or spirit to join us in singing number 188, "Come, Come, Whoever You Are." Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come, yet again come.
Power comes great responsibility. We light this chalice in the hopes that in the brightest days, in blackest nights, our faith will flame on. If the young or the young at heart wish to join us on the chancel at this time, we invite you to share the leadership of speaking our covenant in unison before our time for all ages.
And of course, it always starts with the most important word.
Love is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to help others.
Okay, so since this is May the 4th, and May the 4th be with all now, today we are going to do a 5-minute Star Wars story about community. So I thought I would pick one that I think the majority of us know. Oh, are we not on? Now. Aha! All right, so we're going to read a 5-minute Star Wars story. And it's a beloved one that I think the majority of us know, those of us who are a little older. It's called Return of the Jedi. The Ewoks join the fight. All right, for the Battle of Endor, if you're wondering which moon it was. All right, so Han Solo was on a special mission to the forest moon of Endor. He landed there with Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Chewbacca, R2-D2, and C-3PO. The rebels were looking for a secret bunker that hid a special machine, a machine that would help them destroy the Death Star. As the rebels snuck through the forest, they spotted 2 biker scouts. The scouts patrolled the forest and guarded the bunker. Chewie and I will take care of this, Han said, pointing to the scouts. You stay here. But as Han and Chewie attacked, more scouts appeared. The scouts jumped on their speeder bikes and zoomed off to warn the Empire. Luke and Leia climbed aboard 2 other bikes. Keep on that one, I'll take these 2, Luke called, and sped away after the scouts. Oh, she was wearing a cool hat to protect her from the rain. It is Endor. It was very rainy there. Leia chased after the other scout. She managed to catch up to him, but then the scout fired his blaster at her. Leia tried to dodge the blast and rolled off her speeder. She was all alone in the forest with no way to get back to her friends. Suddenly, a small furry creature appeared. It was an Ewok. He poked at Leia with a sharp stick. Cut it out, Leia said, standing up and brushing herself off. Leia sighed and looked down at the Ewok again. Maybe you can help me, she said, but the Ewok seemed afraid of her. I won't hurt you, Leia said. Here, want something to eat? Worst case is, always offer food. The Ewok was just getting comfortable with Leia when a biker scout appeared behind her. The Ewok quickly hid behind a log. Freeze, the scout said. Using a large stick, the hidden Ewok hit the trooper. Together, Leia and the Ewok disarmed the scout. Come on, let's get out of here, Leia said. The Ewok took Leia's hand and led her toward his village. Meanwhile, Luke and his friends searched the forest for Leia, but all they found was the wrecked speeder and Princess Leia's helmet. While they were looking for Leia, a group of Ewoks found them. The Ewoks did not seem happy about the strangers in their woods. After the Empire, who can blame them? The Ewoks tied up the rebels and took them to their village. When they arrived, the rebels were surprised to see Princess Leia. Leia tried to tell the Ewoks that Han, Luke, and Chewie were her friends, but they did not listen. Only C-3PO was allowed to remain free. The Ewoks seemed to think he was a powerful being. 3PO, Luke said, tell them if they don't do as you wish, you'll become angry and use your magic. C-3PO did as Luke said, but the Ewoks still wouldn't listen. Closing his eyes, Luke used the Force to make C-3PO float. The Ewoks were amazed. Now they knew the droid was powerful. They quickly did as he said and untied his friends. That night, the Ewoks gathered around C-3PO, who told them tales of the rebels and Darth Vader. The Ewoks liked the stories, and they liked the rebels. They decided to make the rebels part of their tribe. One of the Ewoks jumped up and began to hug Han. As he did so, he jabbered away, but Han couldn't understand what he was saying. He says the Ewoks are going to show us the quickest way to the shield generator, C-3PO translated. Oh, you might want to see the picture, huh? Sorry. All right. The next morning, when the rebels and the Ewoks set out for the hidden bunker, Luke did not go along. He knew it was time to face Darth Vader. Leia said goodbye to him and wished him luck. Soon the rebels and the Ewoks arrived in the bunker. The main entrance is on the far side of that landing platform, Princess Leia explained. But the landing platform was surrounded by guards. Luckily, the Ewoks knew of a back entrance. The rebels snuck around and surprised the Empire scouts, quickly disarming them. Han, Chewie, and Leia made their way deep inside the bunker, but before they could turn off the Death Star's shield generator, they were surrounded by Imperial soldiers. It was a trap! The Empire had been waiting for them. From their hiding places in the forest, the Ewoks watched as the Imperial stormtroopers and scouts marched Han, Leia, and Chewie back out of the bunker. The Ewoks knew they had to help their friends. Along with C-3PO, the Ewoks distracted the soldiers, drawing them away from Han, Leia, and Chewie. The Ewoks knew just what to do. They threw rocks at the stormtroopers. They destroyed the Empire's machine, one of which was an AT-ST walker. They tripped the scouts and tied them up. Ta-da! With the Empire soldiers taken care of, Han Solo did what he'd set out to do. He blew up the bunker. The Death Star was no longer protected. Thanks to the Ewoks, the rebels could destroy the Death Star and defeat the Empire once and for all. Okay, so could Han and Chewie and Luke and Leia destroy the bunker by themselves? No. What did they need?
Help.
They needed help. They needed help from who?
Ewoks.
The Ewoks, right. So without that community, could they do what they needed to do?
No.
No. All right.
Just like the Ewoks couldn't get free without the help of Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie.
Right. They needed the rebels to help them get the push they needed to take down the Empire. All right, let's go back to our seats. And thank you for joining us.
I'm going the wrong way. I guess it's me. Now will you join me in a spirit of prayer? Spirit of life and love, we gather to be with one another, hoping to support each other as a comfort in hard times, to celebrate our joyful and happy moments, to dwell together in the wonder and mystery of this magnificent and ever-changing life. And may we acknowledge the springtime and the beautiful weather that we're having as the flowers and trees awaken from their dormancy. The time of the earth, the springtime of the earth, is upon us. May we give thanks for the ever-changing earth and hold room in our hearts for all the joys as yet unshared and sorrows too tender to be spoken aloud. May we find in this space peace, comfort, and community that enfolds us. Amen, and blessed be. I do have some concerns that were shared in the basket, and I want to go ahead and share those with you. This is from Andy. Prayers and thoughts towards healing while I'm on my journey of continuing to heal from my knee surgery and improving my physical and mental health. This is from Julianne, Austin, Karen, and Dave. They served 57 people at Kamea this past Friday. So yay for that. and we will hold Andy's concerns in our hearts.
Today's sacred message is the act of consecration by Pope Francis, who recently passed away. Accept this act that we carry out with confidence and love. Grant that war may end and peace spread throughout the world. The fiat that arose from your heart opened the doors of history to the Prince of Peace. We trust that, through your heart, peace will dawn once more. To you we consecrate the future of the whole human family, the needs and expectations of every people, and the anxieties and hopes of the world.
Is entitled Affirmation of Hope by Loretta Williams. We, bearers of the dream, affirm that a new vision of hope is emerging. We pledge to work for that community in which justice will be actively present. We affirm that there is struggle yet ahead. Yet we know that in the struggle is the hope for the future. We affirm that we are co-creators of the future, not passive pawns. And we stand united in affirmation of our hope and vision of a just and inclusive society. We affirm the unity of all persons. We affirm brotherhood and sisterhood that allows us to touch upon each other's humanity. We affirm a unity that opens our eyes, ears, and hearts to see the different but common forms of oppression, suffering, and pain. Yet we are one in the image of God, and we celebrate our hopes for human unity. Within ourselves and within the gathered community, we will discover the strength not to hide in indifference. Affirming that hope, publicly expressed, energizes and enables us to move forward. Together we pledge action to transcend barriers, be they racial, political, economic, social, or religious. We pledge to make our tomorrows become our todays.
A single X-Wing, we're saved. Can you hear the sarcasm in that comment? What can a single X-Wing do against a whole fleet of Star Destroyers? Seems pretty impossible, doesn't it? But what if on all those Star Destroyers there was at least one person who could disable the ion cannons, or a person to sabotage the docking clamps on the TIE fighters, dropping them to the floor? Would those small actions thwart the Empire's overall forward motion? Granted, one person a rebellion doesn't make. You can't depend on a single person to save your planet or galaxy. It must be all of us working together, doing what we can do to make everyone safe and strong. Even Luke Skywalker didn't become a Jedi alone. He needed Han Solo to get him to the Resistance, and he needed Obi-Wan Kenobi to teach him the ways of the Jedi and tell him about Yoda. Then he needed Yoda to teach him how to get over himself, and he needed R2-D2 to help him make the run on the Death Star's core, plus all the other X-Wing pilots to run interference while he made that run. He was very talented, but he couldn't do it alone. Luke Skywalker is often considered the face of the rebellion, but he needed a whole support network to even become the symbol they could all look to. So many people look at the overwhelming odds stacked against them when it comes to the Empire or the Orange regime and throw their hands up, claiming it cannot be changed or taken down. That might be true if it was just a single X-Wing. But there's a whole squadron of X-Wings, their pilots, their droids, and then there are the mechanics to fix them, the flight crews to prepare and maintain them, the navigation folks to guide them, and the fuel crews to make sure they're fueled up. That's a lot of people working together, and they can move whole squadrons when needed. Think of Rose Tico, a mechanic on the large cruiser of the Resistance, trying to outrun the First Order. She maintained the ship's escape pods, making sure they were ready to go when people needed to abandon the ship. Without her, no one could make it off the cruiser alive. She's not the face of the Resistance or a frontrunner, but without her skills and efforts, the people of the cruiser would be lost. Each job, no matter how small or seemingly disconnected from the rebellion efforts, are important. Chewbacca can't use a lightsaber and will never be a Jedi. but he pilots the Millennium Falcon with great skill and is a sniper with a blaster. For our own resistance, there are those who can protest in the streets with signs, screaming to be heard. There are those who make phone calls and send postcards, reminding representatives and senators that they work for us. There are those who walk and knock on doors, trying to reach all voters. There are those who will run for public office to make the changes. And behind them all are people who supply water and snacks for the door knockers. There are people who supply postcards and stamps for the writers and take them to the post office once they're written. There are those who organize the people to help candidates run for office. They come from all walks of life, all age demographics and belief systems. Think of Rey Skywalker, who grew up on Jakku as a scavenger, but actually came from a Sith family. Despite her background, she believed in the resistance and did her part to dismantle the First Order from within. But she couldn't have done it without Finn or BB-8 finding her first. We are the same. There are many of us who care about our communities and the people who are being targeted by the orange regime. Each one of us can do our parts, no matter what it is, to make sure the orange regime fails to destroy our homes, our communities, and our country. We have all we need to thwart its efforts. As the story with the Ewoks show, even the smallest of us can take down an ATSD walker. One thing to remember is none of us are alone in this. There's always someone to help, to listen, and to support. Even Din Djarin, the Mandalorian, needed Peli Motto to watch his kid, Grogu, while he went out taking odd jobs to provide for them both. Here in this church, there are people willing to lend a hand, make some food, help with a project, or babysit the kids. They'll listen when you need to vent about the state of the galaxy, and they'll commiserate with you on the issues they face too. Each small act of love in the face of hate undermines the orange regime. Every act of compassion to someone who needs help, even it's just giving them groceries or making a meal or even just sitting and listening to their troubles, is an act of rebellion. Every kindness you bestow on friends, neighbors, and strangers and community members is a way to dismantle the tyrannical and power-hungry. These are small actions, seemingly unrelated to the overall rebellion, but they are necessary, and they build momentum. They give people hope and joy, despite the orange regime's efforts to sow fear, distrust, and isolation. Building community in the face of targeted adversity is a rebellious act. As Unitarian Universalists, we have a set of principles we strive for and follow: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, and generosity. You know, Jenkins the jet pig. Each is important because it upholds the inherent value of all people. These principles remind us that all the jobs in the resistance are important because of interdependence. Every small job, from washing the dishes and doing laundry to making the ball bearings in the cannon turrets roll smoothly, are needed to make sure the rebellion succeeds. Can't fight if your gun turrets won't turn. Can't show up in dirty uniforms. All people, a whole community of people, are needed for success, and they are dependent on the cooks for food to survive. Star Wars holds many of our values, reminding us of them in each story told. For example, teaching is an act of generosity and transformation. Just looking at the Jedi, Anakin Skywalker needed Obi-Wan Kenobi to teach him the ways of the Force. In turn, Ahsoka Tano needed Anakin to teach her the ways before he turned to the dark side. And later, Ahsoka needed to teach those ways to Sabine Wren and to Grogu. The understanding of the Force was passed from teacher to student in an unending line. But without the early teachers, the later ones wouldn't have had the understanding to pass on in turn. Their generosity in sharing knowledge leads to the transformation of all the Jedi into better practitioners of the Force and better servants to their people. Looking at this congregation, I see so many people living the principles of Unitarian Universalism. I see the people who work in our kitchen, making sure the congregation gets to eat goodies and drink coffee and tea each week. I see the AV folks who make sure our mics work and the people on Zoom can see the service when they're not able to attend. I see the greeters and the welcomers who welcome new attendees and old friends. I see the people willing to do the work of helping the service when Reverend E is on maternity leave. They are generous with their time and their efforts to make it work. If you take one of these things away, our whole system breaks down and we can't have our service. Interdependence is at play here, too. When it comes to our Share the Plate partners, I see the generosity of this congregation. What's the line? Share our abundance with the community organizations, broadening the reach of our values. It might not be very much, but each dollar helps and makes our values possible. This, too, is interdependence in the larger community. If you ever feel like you're not doing enough to make the changes you want to appear, take a deep breath and remember, all you can do is all you can do with what you have from where you are. And that's enough. You don't have to do everything in the rebellion. There are people for that. You just have to do what you can do. If you're a Jedi, do Jedi things. If you're an X-Wing pilot, do X-Wing pilot actions. If you're a mechanic, fix the X-Wings. That's what you can do, and that's what we need. We're all working together to reach a common goal, and our interdependence makes it succeed. We are all important to the rebellion, no matter if it's standing against the Empire or the Orange regime, and every skill is important. Mechanics, cooks, organizers, Jedi, Mandalorians, senators, ambassadors, pilots, generals, farmers, students, teachers, all of us bring different skills to the overall efforts to change the direction of our galaxy, creating transformation. We are all part of the energy that flows through the world and the galaxy, the universe. In Star Wars, they have many planets resisting, rising up and refusing to comply. In our world, it's many states, cities, communities standing up, just like Reverend Laurel Gray mentioned in her sermon last week, and fighting for what is right in our own way. This is how the battle is won. This is how the resistance turns the tide. You are all important, and you are all needed. So, may the Force be with you. So, and now is time to rise in body or spirit and join in our sung response, which is number 134, Our World is One World, in your gray hymnal.
Forgot my strap. Oh, you need it. I'm just gonna lift my leg. All right.
Sing, you must.
It's fine with me,
Okay. I didn't know that.
since I don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, all right.
Our world is one world. One touches one affects us all. The seas that wash us round about, the clouds that cover us, the rains that fall. Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make, a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend
Please remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and speak together the words in our order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again.
I didn't memorize this part, so. So as we face the coming days and efforts of our own orange regime, remember, you're not alone. You have a community, a whole group of people working to make the world a little better each day through small acts of love, compassion, and kindness. Every little bit counts, and so do all of you. May the force be with you. Blessed be. Amen. This is the way. This is the way.